Hey guys, my name is Greer, and today is my review of... What the fuck is this thing? Why the hell is this on my desk? Fuck off. Today's my review of the SH Figuarts Jonathan Joestar. Now, I get that it's been a while since I've made a proper review like this. I had a lot of shit going on. I'll admit, the excuse isn't very good. Vacation and all that shit, and I know I said I would upload during it, but I know I didn't. It's just, I tried to do something, and I ended up not being able to because of laziness, and there was actually a lot more stuff going on. But yeah, so as you can see, I have it in front of me today. And I just got this figure in last Friday, actually. And I'm already in love with this figure. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see that I did a posing video with it, which is also my first time posting on there in a while. I think it's been a couple months, but I'm trying to get back on track, although that's going to be a bit more difficult because school starts in a couple weeks. But yeah. So I'll just get this guy to stand up. Yep. Alrighty then. Here in hand is the SH Figuarts Jonathan Joestar. And I will say, this is one of the closest things to a perfect figure I have on this channel. I know that the first 10 out of 10 was the Intrograde Wing Gundam. That is technically a model kit, so it doesn't really count. But I'll say now, this has the possibility of being the first 10 out of 10 figure. So, you know, I guess stick around. I won't flaunt it in the thumbnail this time. But, I guess I'll talk about my opinion on the series. I'm only on part 4. In fact, I just finished it tonight. I love it. I absolutely love the show. I think it's amazing. I've loved all the parts. I've loved most of the characters. If you're curious about my personal ranking, I'd say number 1 so far is Diamond is Unbreakable. I just love it. Number 2 would be Part 2. I really like the it's very the goalpost moves constantly, but I think it's very cohesive. My number 3 spot would be Part 1, and my number 4 spot would be Part 3. But anyway, aesthetics on this figure, as far as I can tell, there's a minimal shading on this figure, which is definitely unlike Super Action Statues, which is the previous JoJo's figure line, which I think is still going, but I could be wrong. Where there is shading, it looks good, and the colors are very vibrant on this thing. As you can see, the blue pops beautifully, and I like the contrast of it to the desaturated browns and gray of his outfit. Now, I'll go into accessories. So you do get Bruford's sword. It is Bruford, not Bluford. I use the direct translation names instead of localization. But another cool thing about this is you do get the luck and pluck right there on the handle, if it'll focus. You do get the sheath for the sword, which actually isn't loose. It has a slight push in, and you can shake it. But and I'm still currently in the phase of this figure where I keep the tray because it's easier, mainly because this thing is expensive. Although I did get it for less than retail. Got it for about 88 bucks. You have 3 faces. You have, the smiling face, which I have on right now, which I really like using because it really captures the personality well. You have this, tensed face, serious. This is when he sees Dio, and it's like, neuron activation, kill that guy. And then you have this yelling face. All of these faces look really nice. I don't think there's any inconsistencies between them. I think they all equally look like Jonathan. You do get 2 Hummon effects, or ripple, but as you can see, they're pretty good. They are 2 individual pieces. And this is my first negative point for the figure. These are a pain in the ass to install. So what you do is you take off this little wrist cuff right here, and you would put this on in a very specific way, which this is essentially what allows it to clip in place. You split the Hallman effect. Shit. All right. So yeah, I dropped it. So you split it in half, and then, you know, sandwich it on while making sure it clips. After getting the hang of it, it's somewhat easier, but it is very hard, at least for me, to tell if this will look right on the arm and if this will actually clip in the proper ways it's supposed to. The next accessory I'll go over is the backpack. So essentially, the way this works is you have two little things, two straps, and as you can see, has a little L and R engraved in it, and you'll put that on the respective left and right side. You're going to want to make it look like this, to where the narrow end is at the bottom for both, and it kind of is like that gem from Coraline or whatever it was. Essentially, the way you are supposed to apply this is take these, slide them up the arms, and then apply it while it's on the back. But what I do is typically, because it always wants to do this whenever you pose this, you pull off one of the arms, make sure the little cap stays in place, and whichever side is still on, you slide it over, because it can fit over the wrist cuff as well as the Hallman effect and most of the hands. And then you plug the arm back on. Which is more difficult than it looks. It's a similar conundrum to the games Begin Goku, where the neck is kind of really fiddly to put on, and then this is what Jonathan looks like with the bag on. As you can see, it doesn't really look, it doesn't make that much different, but it fills out the space nicely. It makes his shoulders look more broader, kind of akin to the first part, where his shoulders look a lot broader, instead of, you know, he's very thin with, you know, the fucking snatched waist. But other accessories, we're on the hands segment, include, you know, the fists he has on, the iconic splay hands, which I might throw up an image on screen, so me get to this point in the video to do that. When I first got my nails painted, I was like, I want to pull a JoJo's pose, and I pulled that one because it was the only one I knew of. So yeah, I'll put a photo on screen, but you get those kind of classic hands, you know, the that. But the next hands are for holding the sheath of Bruford's sword. So you get a left and right of this. Here's how that fit works. It's pretty loose overall. I say that as it doesn't fall out. But it can be knocked loose easily is what I'm trying to say. You get a left and right relaxed hand, although the left hand, which I'm showing, has its index more extended than the other. I don't know what these are meant to be for, but I use these for just in general relaxed hands. You get a left and right holding hand for Bruford's sword, which the fit on this is very tight, and it always scares me when I plug it in or remove it. So this is what it looks like when it's holding it. And then you get two flat hands like this. And they are very, when I say flat, I mean flat. Like, they're not like a human hand, whereas you can see there's like a clear bump up and then a slight curve. It is like flat, which is, I don't know if this will make sense, but it makes my brain, like, it hits a weird spot where it's like, ah, yes, that makes sense. It's like how with the One Piece figures, or with Luffy, the hands are kind of bigger than they should be, which makes it like it's stylized, but like the right amount of stylized. But and yes, the final accessory is the stand. Not that one, sadly. I really am excited to see where the line goes. Personally, my ideal world, they would build up the side characters first, and then they would do the stands. Although I don't know if you would technically call stands side characters. Like, we could get a Speedwagon and a Zeppeli. I really want a Zeppeli because Zeppeli is one of my favorite characters. Um, and I know, Lucas, you're watching this. I knew you'd love a Speedwagon figure because everyone knows, at least on my end and what I can find, they're fucking overpriced for the super action statues. But, part 2, you would get, like, the Pillarman, you'd get Caesar, you'd get maybe Lisa. That would be pretty nice. Although, from what I've seen, the super action statue looks nice. And then part 3, you would get Abdul, you'd get Polnareff, you'd get Kakyoin, and then, get their stands, too. But one thing I would like to see is, I really hope that eventually down the line we get some of the enemy stand users. Like, I don't know why, but I think it'd be fun to have something like a Tower of Grey would be really fun. Like, not the stand user, but like to get that as an extra thing. Like, kind of do what they did with the Kid Gohan with I think it only came with the event exclusive Raditz, or the original Chaozu from the 1.0 TN, where it's just an immovable statue. I think it'd be fun to include that with, I believe it was Joseph who killed that one, so I think it'd be fun to include it with him. And stands like Hermit Purple could already just come with him. You could have some splayed hands and a grip hand to use that power. Maybe have a crushed spirit camera. Or what would be fun is they could retool these slightly to make it where and this would only be exclusive for the spirit photo, but something like this would be fun. Have the flat hand. Anyway, I'm tangenting. What the fuck was I talking about? Ah, yes, stand. I'm good at this, I swear. You get the nice JoJo name and then the stone mask on there. I really like it, although that looks crooked slightly, which although this isn't my preferred Bandai stand. I like the ones that would have come with the figure arts Broly and Cooler, which have an even length. But anyway, articulation. This is where another gripe comes up. I think it was to be in line with super action statues, which luckily Shf Joestar, Young, and Jotaro, and from what I can tell, every other release, although we'll have to fact check this. Again, me, put the fact checked here. Jonathan doesn't have bicep swivels, which overall really hurts the figure. But, again, it really hurts the figure overall for articulation, because there are some poses I want to hit, because if you've seen, again, my Instagram post, I really like to go crazy with the flamboyancy. It really hurts, because, like, I have to move the arm like this to hit that one pose where he's, leaning back, and, I can't do this and then have his arm down like this, so I couldn't do something like this. It really hurts the figure overall, articulation-wise, but everything else is really good. Surprisingly, the legs feel like they get more range than they do, and that's because of the way the sculpt works and the like how the sculpt flows. Like, normally you'd have to get insane inward range, but for like a Reveltech figure, but for this one you just have to turn the thigh a little bit, and it makes it look like he's stepping forward a lot. Like, look at this. This is awesome. But another thing, the articulation overall is pretty good. The shoulders aren't the best. Again, I really think the shoulder area, I don't have Joseph in hand, but from what I've seen, it looks like what Jonathan should have been. But yeah, this is my review. Overall, my only gripes with the figure are, as I mentioned, I just talked about the lack of bicep swivel and the fiddliness of the Hamon effects. And honestly, I would have liked a gritted teeth face, which I could see coming as DLC with something, or a kind of like breathing out face. Because one thing they do in the series, and I'm watching it subbed, so maybe it's different in the dub, is, you know, they kind of, when they're, at least when they're first doing it, like when he's fighting Jack the Ripper, he'll kind of like breathe out, because Hamon's a breathing thing. So maybe, possibly, knowing Bandai, they could do that as a DLC faceplate with Zeppeli or something. And if you watch my, again, post on Instagram, I keep plugging it. It's in the description if you're curious and haven't, you know, already clicked it, and my other 20 videos, which, what the fuck? That kind of final pose where he's like this with the Hamon effects on his arms. That's what I was trying to hit there. Which again, I can see it being an opportunity in the future. But anyway, I've been rambling for way too long in this video, but I hope you enjoy, and I will be uploading Saturday. I have a big video coming out. I'll just say it's related to some of my previous catalog of videos, and a normal toy review that day. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this, and bye.